Morning.
Not from New York. On the bottom of Yud Zayin Amud Beis, and the Gemara just talked about 3 books that open the Rosh Hashanah, and now it continues 5 lines from the bottom, not about Rosh Hashanah, but about the end of days. Rashi says by Tchias HaMesim, Tanya, Veshama Yomrim, Shlosha Kito Sein Yom Adin. Not 3 books, but 3 groups. 3 groups are going to be Yom Adin. Rashi says by Tchias HaMesim, Acha Shel Tzadikim Gemur, V'Acha Shel Risham Gemur, V'Acha Shel Beinoniim. One of the completely righteous, one of the completely wicked, and one Beinoni. Rashi says that maybe it's Rashi based it on the Gemara, other places or later on the Gemara here, that Tzadikim Gemur means that it's Rov Schuyos, that they have a majority of merit, and Risham Gemur means that the scale is tipped to Rov Abonos, and Beinoni means Mechsal Mechsa. Tzadikim Gemur, that the ones who are completely righteous, they're going to be inscribed and sealed immediately for everlasting life. Risham Gemur and completely wicked, which means they're Rov. So the Gemara says someplace else that if it's the Rovs, what happens to the Miyah, what happens to the minority, that's taken care of in Olam Hazeh, maybe other Cheshbonos. But those people that are going to be Risham Gemurim, Rov Avonos, so they're inscribed and sealed immediately for Gehenim. Shenema, this Shenema is going on both on the Tzadikim and on the Risham. Rabim mi Pasuk in the Nil, Rabim mi Shene Ad Masafa Yakin. So many of those sleeping in the ground, in the earth, are going to awaken. Elu L'chai Olam, Ve'elu L'chai Rapos L'diron Olam. These for everlasting life, the Tzadikim, and these for shame, Cherpa, for everlasting disgrace. They translate the word Diron, they translate it as Bizayon, disgrace. So that's the 2 groups so far. Then there's a 3rd group of the Beinonim. Beinonim, this Mechsal Mechsa, Yodam Gehenim, Umetzafzefin, Va'olin. Rashi says the word Metzafzefin means that they cry out, which is an interesting term for crying out, to be Metzafzef. They cry out and then they come up. Rashi says Sha'achas. They're temporarily a small time in Gehenim and then they come out. Shenema, Be'vesi Shlishis Ba'esh, Tzraftim Kitzrofas HaKesef, Uvachantim Kivchones HaZahav, Hu Yikrov Shmi, Va'ani Anel So. A pasuk in, where's the pasuk again? A pasuk in Zechariah, that it says that I'm going to bring a 3rd in fire and I'm going to refine them, purify them as one purifies silver, and I'm going to examine them, check them like somebody checks gold to purify it. He's going to call my name, I'm not going to answer him. So the fact that it says it says a 3rd, this is the 3rd is going to be this 3rd group, is Tzadikim, Risham, and this 3rd group, and they're going to be purified in Gehenim. But it says they're going to call out and I'm going to answer them. And the first group of Rishon doesn't say that they're going to be taken out of Gehenim. But here it says that they're going to call out and I'm going to answer them. That means they come out of Gehenim. Concerning this group, Chana, there's a Tchilas Chana over there that the Sfardim say it every day. It talks about when she had a child. So over there she says Hashem is the one who makes to die and makes to live. He brings down to Sheol and it brings up. So the Pasuk Shat might mean Tchias HaMesim, but the Gemara is talking about Sheol is Gehenim, not the grave. Usually Sheol means the grave, but here it seems to me the word is actually to mean Gehenim, and the Gemara says that's one of the names of Gehenim. So he brings down to Gehenim and takes him up again. So Beis Shammai says that this 3rd group is the one who goes temporarily, like Rashi says, Sha'achas, and then they come up again. That was Beis Shammai. All this was Beis Shammai talking, like the Brisa started off Beis Shammai Yomrim, that the 3 kiddush, the Yom Adin, Tzadikim Gemur, Rishon Gemur, and then the Beinonim, that they go temporarily to Gehenim. He still says that this Mechsal Mechsa that you say they go temporarily to Gehenim is still longer. No, Rav Chesed. The Pasuk says Rav Chesed, which the Gemara Dash is Matek Lapi Chesed. That Hashem inclines it on the favorable side. That a person who's Mechsal Mechsa, he's considered also righteous, and he's not going to go to Gehenim. That whole parsha, and we say in Hallel, it continues over there. Hashem hears my voice. That's what the word is mentioning over here. Even though I'm low, but Hashem saves me. So even though I'm low, I don't have enough schuyos in order to merit tipping the scale for good. But Hashem saves me. So this was Machlokas Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. What happens to the Mechsal Mechsa? According to Beis Shammai, temporarily is Sha'achas and Gehenim, and according to Beis Hillel, he doesn't go to Gehenim at all, since he's Mechsal Mechsa. The Gemara is going to talk about later on again. But then it continues the Brisa. There's a long Brisa over here. Poshe Yisrael B'Gufan, the Poshe Umas Ha'olam B'Gufan, Yodam Gehenim, V'Nidonim Bo Yud Beis Chodesh, V'Acha Yud Beis Chodesh, Gufan Kolov, V'Nishmas and Nisrefes, V'Ruch V'Chazatan, the Nas and Nefer. They put in Tachas Kapos Ragli Tzadikim. The Poshe Yisrael B'Gufan, which the Gemara doesn't say what it means yet, but it means that they're transgressors, the Poshim, something to do with their body, which the Gemara is going to explain some what it means. And also Poshe Goyim, the first time brings in Goyim over here, the Poshe Yisrael B'Gufan, that's going to be something else. They have a different way of, a much more gross kind of a Poshe, yeah. But that's going to say these two groups are Poshim, the Gufan. So then they go down to Gehenna and they judge for 12 months. After 12 months, they're going to become nothing. Their Guf is going to finish and end off. Then the Neshama is going to be burnt, and the wind is going to scatter it, and they're going to become ashes under the feet, the palms of the feet of the tzaddikim. That sounds, is that a good thing or not? This is a bad thing that they end to exist. It says they're going to become offer. Some say that maybe it's a positive thing, that at least they're efer tachas kapos ragli tzaddikim, but the Gemara sounds like it's a negative thing. It sounds like they're extinct and they become offer. The pasuk also is sinema v'asosim b'shoim you efer tachas kapos raglechem. You're going to trample on the rishon because the tzaddikim are going to trample on the rishon because they're going to become ashes under your feet. So it sounds like it's a negative thing. But that was a category of Poshim. Poshim Yisrael B'Gufan, Poshim Goyim B'Gufan. They have Gehenim 12 months and then they become extinct. Aval, Haminim, Hamasoros, Apikorsim, they put it above here, Vishakofu B'Torah, Vishakofu B'Tchias HaMesim, Vishapirishim V'Daki Tzibor, Vishanas Nuchetis V'Eretz Chayim, Vishachatu V'Sheftias Harabim Kon Yav Menavot, Tachaveirot. So that's a long list. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think that is a list of 8. Minim, Rashi says Minim means the Christians. There's a change. There's a censorship in Rashi, so we don't have it in Rashi. He says Rashi says something else, but in the real Gersa of Rashi, you should say Talmidu Yeshua Notzri. The Minim usually means the Christians. Also the Gemara it says Minim over there, so that's referring to the Christians. That's when they made the bracha of Al-Lamish. Amasoros, people who give over those Jews who give over the Jews to the Goyim. Rashi says even money, even if they give over a Mosa, it gives over Jewish money to the Goyim. Apikarsim, as Rashi says, is the people who are Mechut Sofrim to Hashem. Rashi says, what's Rashi's words over here? Other examples also, I think Gemara says in Chelik, what Apikarsim are, all kinds of chutzpah to Talmidei Chachamim, to the Torah. And they put it above Vishakofu. People are kofar in the Torah, that's not Menashe Mayim, those who deny Tchias HaMesim, those who separate themselves from the ways of the tzibur. So Rashi over here takes it out, and he says this is, and he says that this is a list of Pirshim B'Daki Tzibur, is the whole list over here. So Rashi says that Pirshim B'Daki Tzibur, they're not doing what Am Yisrael does, they don't go in the Jewish way. So Rashi takes out these 3 words, but the Rambam, he says that this is another category, and he says, interesting chiddush, that even if somebody does all the mitzvahs, but he separates himself from Am Yisrael. I'm not part of Am. He goes to an island, whatever. He goes by himself. He does all the mitzvahs, but he's not part of Am Yisrael. So the very big chumrah that even though he's doing all the mitzvahs, but he doesn't consider himself part of Am Yisrael. Also, he's in this category.
But how would you define it? What issa did he do?
It's not issa. It's a question of is he part of Am Yisrael? He's not part of the Jewish nation. So if you don't want to be, so you're not. So the words literally mean that they gave their fear in the land of the living. So this is really a pasuk in Yechezkel, in Perek Lamed Beis. It says many times this again and again over there. The Gemara is going to dash and assume that it means that they made people fearful of them, not with a good intention. That's because their own ego, whatever, for their own purposes, their own benefit. But so even if they have an authority, they have to use authority for L'Shem Shemayim. But if you're doing it just to not L'Shem Shemayim, so that's what the Gemara is going to say that this means. The word literally, they made their fear like the word ches tough. In Rashi's Bereshis, fear. That they gave their fear in the land of the living. Which means in the Pashtat the Gemara is going here means in the place where people are. Eretz Chayim means maybe means Eretz Yisrael, but the point Eretz Chayim would mean that they make people scared of them. That sounds like a very small avera, but it says here that very bad. Those who sinned and they caused others to sin, and Machti the people, Machti Sarabim, like Rav Menavot, he made that golem over there, and they caused Am Yisrael to do Avodah Zarah. So all these people, all these categories, at the beginning of the screen over here, meaning, so all these things, Yadna Gehenim, but they don't know the Doris. They're going to go to Gehenim and be judged over there forever and ever. It's never going to stop. Shenema, V'yatzu, V'yotzu, 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 this is the pasuk, that last pasuk in Yeshaya, Kisolatam lo Sefle, Kisolatam lo Samus, Visham lo Sefle, Vadu Derigon lo Chol. So this is a person that says that it's never going to end. They're going to go over there. Talks about the tzaddikim are going to see the dead people who potion be, that their fire is never going to stop. So that means that Gehenim is going to be forever for them. Gehenim kolam, v'heim Gehenim kolam. Shenema v'tzrem v'valo sheol. That even Gehenim's, the word says that Gehenim is going to finish and they're not going to finish, which is, it seems to be another way of saying that they're going to be as long as Gehenim is going to be. It does say that the Lori Doris, then it says that Gehenim is going to finish. It seems to mean that they're going to be as long as Gehenim is, which is forever. Shenema v'tzrem v'valo sheol. That their form, according to the Drash, their form is going to wither out the Gehenim. That they're going to outlive Gehenim. It means they'll be judged forever and ever. There's an interesting gears change over here. That what's the Drasha? That's similar valos to outwither. So some say that the gears shouldn't be color, it should be bola. Gehenim bola, v'heim bolim, because of the Drasha of similar valos sha'ol. That's a nice gears change to explain the Drash. That you learn out bola from bola, that they're gonna wither out the sha'ol. So there's such a category that they're going to be in Gehenim forever.
What's the mizvula?
So far we didn't. So far it's in parentheses. It is the end of the pasuk. But some of the Shom mizvula, but so far the Gemara didn't dash it. And not a Gemara dashes it. There's a pasuk that people are familiar with because they say it in the base of it. It shouldn't be familiar anymore, but it's familiar for different reasons. But that's the one on the Zeich of Korach. So Shimuzos Kolamim. So over there it says it's Sum Lavalo Shalom Zavulo, and the most Gadashin that Zavul is the Beis Hamikdash. And the reason why these people are held so responsible is because their various caused the Churban Beis Hamikdash. How come such a big avera, such a big punishment? Because they stretched out the hand against the Beis Hamikdash. Shenamar, the end of the pasuk, the Sum Lavalo Shalom Zavulo. Zavulo, what's Zavul mean? If you find that the word Zvul usually means a dwelling place, but the Gemara is Nashing is referring to the dwelling place of Hashem, and because of the Beis Hamikdash. Over there, Shlomo Melech says, I built a dwelling place for you. So you see that the Beis Hamikdash is called Zvul, because of the Beis Hamikdash. Rashi says that these people's are various, all this whole list over here. Minim, Soros, Apikorsim, all these people, they are various, are so bad that they cause the Churban, and because of that, they're held responsible and they never get out of again. So we finished the Brisa. Till here's the Brisa, and spoke about Veshama Besil, talked about Rov Avonos, Rov Schuyos, then spoke about Benonim, which Besil, Veshama says they go to Gehenim temporarily, Sha'achas, and Besil says they don't go to Gehenim at all. After that, the Gemara spoke about Poshi Yisrael B'Gufan and Poshi Goyim B'Gufan, that they're in Gehenim for 12 months and then they become ashes under the feet of the Tzaddikim. And then I spoke about this category, this eight category over here, that they're in Gehenim for 12 months and then they become destroyed and Efer, and they're going to be the ashes under the feet of the Tzaddikim.
There's an interesting thing. It says the Gufan, which is what we learned in Pirkei Avos. Maybe Gufan shows it's really the destruction of the body.
We'll see what the Gemara tells about it. The so far was the Brisa. The Gemara didn't explain what does it mean. What does it mean? Here, the word guf does mean the body, something that they did with their body, and the Gemara is going to explain what does it mean. Poshi Yisrael B'Gufan. What does it mean? Poshi Goyim B'Gufan. That's what the Gemara is going to explain soon. The word guf does mean body, and over here it's going to see why it fits in over there. That Gufan Mechubar Al Abrius. That was the question we had over there. Why does it stress the guf over there? Okay, so now is the end of the. We finished the Brisa. On the top line on the screen, so this is really like Amamar. You could put it over here. Some gears that has Amamar, and it's going back to the Gemara before. And even though it says here Hashem Yichatam Meribor, they changed it to the pasuk before Hashem Yisum Mechayeh. On the fourth line of the Gemara, it said Hashem Hashem Yisum Mechayeh. This is the one that Beishamai said that they temporarily go to Gehenim and they come out again. So the gears of change seems to be a correct one. Hashem Yisum Mechayeh. That this is going back in the Gemara, that those who temporarily go to the Gehenim Sha'achas because they're 50-50, so Hashem brings them down into Gehenim, they go to Gehenim and they come out again. Their faces are going to be like the bottom of a pot. That's all blackened. And it seems that even they come out of Gehenim, since they were in Gehenim, so they're singed, and forever it's going to be noticeable that they once were in Gehenim. So it seems to be, Rabbi was the Rabbi in Mechuzah, and he seems to be saying that even the Chashav people in Mechuzah, he said that they weren't good. And those are the people who are also going to be in Gehenna temporarily. Shapira means like the best of the best. And Rashi says it means those are the people who are Munagim, they're people who are rich people and Chashuvim over there. But Rav is saying that those people, maybe there's a better shot than I'm saying, but this is the simple words that I understood in the Gemara, that those are the people in Mechusa that Rav says you should know that they are going to be also in Gehenna. I guess he was saying they are from the best of the best of the name of Mechusa. So I don't have a great shot. That's what I understood. I don't think he means to say because they were mu'unagim, because they took all kinds of delicacies. That's the reason why I should be in Gehenna. I don't think that's what it means. He says they were the chashav ones, the rich ones of Mechusa, and you should know that they were also b'nei Gehenna. And Makar b'nei Gehenna, Rashi I think says they're going to be called b'nei Gehenna. It means that I think that even though they're going to get out of Gehenna, but since they had to temporarily go, so they're going to be noticeable. It's going to be like labeled that they once were in Gehenna. The Gemara continues with analyzing the brisa. It was a big, long brisa, and now the Gemara is analyzing it. Amamar. He said before, that the Beisel argues with Beishamai and says, no, the people of Metzah and Metzah, they don't go to get him temporarily. Hashem inclines the scale as if they're righteous, even though it's only 50-50. If it's Rov Abono, so then they're Russia. But if it's 50-50, Hashem not a Kabi Chesed. But the Kash is Beishamai also brought a passage about those that go to get him temporarily. Which was that pasuk in Zechariah, which Beishamai quoted as saying that they call out to Hashem and Hashem answers them, so it means they come out of Gehenna. Also, Rav Chesed is a pasuk. Rav Chesed Bemes, that's familiar. And the Gemara dashes, Rav Chesed means Mata Klapi Chesed. That was Beisil on top of the page. That Beisil dashing that the people that are 50-50, they're going to be inclined for good. And the Gemara's Kash is, there's a pasuk that says that there are some category that goes to Gehenna and gets out. So how is Beisil going to explain that category? The Gemara answers, those are the people who in the 50-50, they also have the Avera of Posh Yisrael B'Gufan, which we still don't know what it means yet, but there's some kind of an Avera that's called in the body. And over there, those are the ones who are going to, even if it's 50-50, and usually Hashem would grant them to be considered tzaddikim, but if they have in the 50 of Averis is also the Avera of Posh Yisrael B'Gufan, so then they go to get them temporarily, even according to Beis Hillel. Kasha, that doesn't fit. The Brisa continues and says, they're the ones who are going to go to Gehenna for 12 months and then be destroyed and become Efer. He said they have no way to get fixed up. They don't come out of Gehenna. After 12 months, they get burnt up and they become Efer Tachas Kabas Raglechem. Now you're saying that the people who are Poshis Shol B'Gufan, they're 50-50 and they go into Gehenna Sha'achas and they come out again. So how do you explain the Brisa? The answer is, depends if they're Rov, Averis, or they're 50-50. The before, later on, when the Brisa says that the people who are Posh Yisrael B'Gufan, they have Gehenna 12 months and then they become destroyed, that's because they're Rov. They're Rov Averis, and part of the Rov Averis is also Posh Yisrael B'Gufan. So then there's no answer for them, and then it's going to be 12 months in Gehenna, and then they're destroyed. But here, that the Posh Yisrael B'Gufan, but they're still Mechsa. It means even this Avera of Posh Yisrael B'Gufan, whatever it is, it's still only makes them half and half, 50-50. But 50-50, so they do go to Gehenna temporarily and they get out. The Gemara explains why that's so. That since they have also in the 50-50, they also have Posh Yisrael B'Gufan. Part of the 50 is also Posh Yisrael B'Gufan, so therefore it's impossible to pardon them that they shouldn't have Gehenna at all. They have to have at least a little bit Gehenna. But if they don't have the Avera of Posh Yisrael B'Gufan, it's just 50-50, that's when Beisil said that Matla Klapi Chesed and they don't get any Gehenna. The Brisa continued. And over there it says Dalosi Vili Oshia, and they don't go to Gehenna at all. Now, once the Gemara brought this pasuk, so now the Gemara is going to dash it otherwise also. The dashing the pasuk in Hallel Hafti Kishma Hashem. Darash Rabba, top line. Ma'idach Sev Hafti Kishma Hashem. Am Knesset Yisrael Lefnei Kodesh Baruch Hu. The word pasuk shara Hafti means I love, because Hashem hears my voice. But these dashing, I am beloved, means I can tell that I'm beloved when I see that Hashem listens to my voice. The pasuk says that Lo Sivili Oshia, I'm low, but Hashem saves me. Even even though I'm low in mitzvahs. So the Gemara is saying a drash that the losi means I'm low in mitzvahs, and as Basil said that it's not rov mitzvahs, it's only 50-50, even though I don't have enough to get rov zchuyos, but Hashem stays me.
And therefore, he doesn't have to go to Gehenna.
Right.
That's pretty, that's pretty good news. I mean,
For a 50-50.
because all we heard up to now is that everybody's.
No, it didn't say. It says Sadiq Gemara.
I thought even small mitzvahs that various people have to go through.
That's not the Pashas. No, the Pashas says again it was only for the rov areas. And like we had the rov, it's not rov. That the Gemara says in Kedushin that if somebody's rov mitzvahs doesn't mean that the miyud is not going to be considered. And that it says that he gets punishments in Olam Hazeh in order to cleanse himself. So that's what the Pasha says, that a person is rov mitzvah. And the Rambam says that the rov is not judged by us. We don't know how to judge what's considered rov. It doesn't go with the numbers. It could be one fat mitzvah or one fat avera that outweighs a lot of other ones. But Hashem is the one who judges what's considered.
And if there's one's life, or we're talking about Sof Yamav.
Right. Rashi even says the Tchias HaMesim. It means like the whole judgment of the whole world. The Gemara now goes to the question of what does it mean Poish Yisrael B'Gufan? Fourth white line. What does it mean that a person who sins with his body? A head that doesn't wear tefillin. That's called the Poish Yisrael B'Gufan. So some of Farshim learning means that he never wore tefillin in his life. That's some of Farshim. Some Rishonim say that. And if he has whatever his cheshbon is, 50-50, then we says he has to temporarily go to Gehenna. Or if he's Rob Averis, then he's going to be either base Chodesh, that he gets destroyed after that. The Aver of a Jew that never have worn tefillin. Other Rishonim hold that it means not he never wore tefillin, but he doesn't wear tefillin. He doesn't wear tefillin as a constant. He doesn't wear tefillin as a rule. He doesn't wear tefillin. So because we're supposed to wear tefillin. Taisus over here goes to the trouble to explain why people don't wear tefillin. So he excuses something. He excuses some of the categories. He says if you're doing it because if you're learning Torah, so then there's a Torah. Here's a Taisus over here. There's not a Taisus also on Shabbos. I think and Tess also talks about why people don't wear tefillin. Just to point out that there was a Kufa and Am Yisrael people didn't wear tefillin. They didn't wear tefillin at all. Not only during davening. They didn't wear tefillin at all. And there's a question: is the achiva tefillin once a day? And people didn't wear tefillin the whole day. They didn't wear tefillin at all, even during davening. And the Smag, I forgot his name, but the Smag Sefer Mitzvahs Gadol. If you look over there in his Akdama, he says that he made a big campaign going around. He went to different countries to encourage the mitzvah of tefillin, and he got it going. People didn't wear tefillin, and he brought down this Gemara. If you look at this very interesting Akdama over there, I think it's the
There's
Akdama.
a Yerushalmi, by the way. Someone showed me Yerushalmi that we shouldn't wear tefillin because.
There was shown that said that the Gufnaki doesn't mean, Agmar says Gufnaki, Taisa brings it down. That a Gufnaki, if he can't hold himself to have a clean body, means that he shouldn't let gears. So then somebody should be very careful with the tefillin. But it seems that whatever the reason was, people didn't wear tefillin at all. They didn't wear it once a day. They didn't wear it at all. And the Smag is the one who went around to encourage the mitzvah and he got people going. And he says at least during davening. That's how it came nowadays that people wear tefillin during davening. In the Gemara, the mitzvah is to wear tefillin the whole day. That's not so common nowadays. In the old city, you do have many people that wear tefillin the whole day as much as they can. During learning, the two chash is not to wear tefillin the whole day, is either because gufnaki, if a person can't take care of his body to make sure that he doesn't have gears, and also a chalas rosh. Chalas rosh when a person has lightheadedness and he shouldn't be Masech Das, those days wearing tefillin. But Ibn says that during Shemon Esrei, no one's chalas rosh and no one's has letting gears. So he says for sure by mincha people should wear tefillin. So the Mishnah talks about if you could, those who could, not everybody could, depends where you are. But if a person could, so you should wear tefillin. But as far as tefillin, some say that it means if he never wore tefillin. Some say if he doesn't wear tefillin as a rule. There's, I think, other Rishonim also over here. I forgot. Taisus talks about people who don't wear tefillin because they don't. It's a disgrace to them. That surely is a big avera. And then the Gemara continues. And the list of it before I said also goyim. Of course, goyim is not going to be about tefillin. They don't wear tefillin. So what does it mean? The poshi goyim the gufan. That means nus. That's called the guf. Avera of the goyim is going to be znus. If a goy has znus in the averas that he does, so then he's also in the category that we said above. It's a little difficult. This Gemara needs a lot of explanation because here it sounds like the goyim are also in the whole issue about Gehenim and Gan Eden, and that's not so simple. That's Gemara and Chelek. The goyim have Chelek L'Olam Haba. The Pasha says I think that not. They have, like the Gemara says over there, Machlokas if they have Olam Haba, and I think the Gemara comes in over there by Bilam. It says Elosh Shem Chelek L'Olam Haba. It brings in Bilam. Bilam's a goy, so it sounds like other goyim do have a Chelek L'Olam Haba. So I think the way I don't say poskim, I'm not sure what to say poskim, but the way we saw in the Derech Hashem was that the most that a guy could get besides this world is only going to be that it could become like a bush. Chassidim Umas Olam could become a tafel to Am Yisrael. In Olam Haba, they don't have an independent existence. They only have an existence that's going to be tafel to Am Yisrael. But anyway, here it says if somebody's a posher guy in the gufan avera, so then they're in the category that they're going to be in Gehenna for 12 months and then to disintegrate. The next category was
what does it say?
posher.
Poshe, meaning that they're the word
Abarya.
that's they're sinning in terms of znus.
That's by goyim. Poshe Yisrael begufan means that when it's filled,
Not to fill.
and poshe Musalim begufan means that they do znus.
I don't see the word znus.
It says avera. Stam
Avera.
avera.
So avera we said. Stam avera is
Yeah.
is
We said this before. We just didn't explain it. The Gemara says that this pasuk in Yecheskel that they give their fear in the land of the living. What is that? An authority, a leader, that he makes the tzibur to be very scared without the good intention, not the Shem Shemaim. He's not doing it for the purpose of leading them in the ways of Hashem. He's doing it because of his own reasons. So that's very chamor. We would be surprised that it's so chamor. It's avera, but it's so chamor. Here it says that. What is that about him again? This category is nidon and dori doris. If you're ever going to be in Gehenim, Gehenim kolam, Hemenim kolam. Very surprising. So a person, I think, what's called a tzibur. A person, what if it's a small tzibur? And also, you make them scared of you for your own benefit. Might even be a small tzibur. Even maybe I was thinking maybe even a rebbe in the classroom also, if you or somebody,
a father of a family.
a father in the family also, if you make them scared of him, shalom Hashem Shemayim. Okay, that's called the here says it's tzibur. So I'm not sure what the tzibur means, but you see how chomer it is. Besides this fact that he's going to be need on the Doros and Gehenim, but he's not going to have children, descendants that are a son that's going to be a Talmud Chacham. So Josh in the pasuk, but it says people fear him, and again it means that he makes people fear him. So he's not going to see Chacham. It means he's not going to have children that are to be the Chacham. It goes back to what it said on top of the page. I'm not sure why the Gemara is out of order, but it goes now again to the soul that says that when he's 50-50, Hashem is not the Klapi Chesed. It's a woman V'rav Chesed. The pasuk says V'rav Chesed, and Midashin not the Klapi Chesed, that Hashem tilts the scale that it should become favorable. First one line, Hechi Ovid. How does Hashem make that when it's 50-50, it should tilt to the positive side? So there must be something over here that's esoteric. There's something here, some idea. It's what the Gemara is saying. I don't know what it is, but the Gemara talks about language of a regular scale that has the cup of Suyas and Avonos. How does Hashem make that? If it's 50-50, that it should tilt to the good side. So Rashi explains that it means that Hashem suppresses the side of the schus. That on the scale, which is 50-50, if you press down on the side of schus, that's how he tilt the scale. Here it says Rashi says that it means really he's kovesh the side of schus. And Rashi says that it means that's the way that he makes that it should be not any averis by having that he presses down on the side of schus. What does that mean? And that's only a muscle. What does it mean? There's no real scale. There's no physical scale. So what does it mean over there? I don't know. But Hashem presses down the side of the merit. The merits count more, so to speak. Hashem picks up the side of Avera. When you have the scale 50-50, so Hashem lightens the side of the Avera. That Avera is not counted so much. Hashem he lifts up the Avera. I said Josh.
It makes it lighter by picking it.
It picks up. Forget about lighter. That I put in. Either Hashem presses down the side of schus or Hashem hires.
How he never to change the balance.
Yeah, there shouldn't be right. How do you change the balance? Either pressing down the side of the schus or lifting up the side of the Avera. Now Rashi seems to say that this is a continuation. This third opinion here is the third opinion. It's not like the new Gemara. So Rashi seems to say that Hashem takes off the first Avera. Before it goes on the scale, when there's all the scale, all the two piles of Averas and merits that Hashem is putting onto the scale, before he starts, he takes away the first one. He doesn't put the first one. It says Ma'aver Rishon sounds like a few. As Rashi seems to say Ma'aver Rishon. He takes off the first Avera, he doesn't put it on the scale. So if it's going to come out that it's Rov Zechuyos, really would have been 50-50 because the one is missing. But the fact that Hashem took it off before, that's how the scale is going to become Rov Zechuyos. So again, there are three ways how Hashem could tilt the scale. Either he presses down the schus, or he lifts up the Avera aside, or he leaves out one Avera before they start counting. And then it's going to be Rov Zechuyos, even though it shouldn't have been. It should have been 50-50. But Hashem didn't count the first Avera, so he ends up to be, and Hashem forgets about the Avera, so to speak. There's a Gemara in Yuma that seems to say three Averas. I'm not sure, but here it says he takes off the first Avera or Averos.
What's your chances of it's going to be 50?
Right. So that's the question. Right. What does that mean? That means, like you say, it's 1 in a billion.
Right.
That's going to happen 50-50 exactly.
I mean,
So-
Rav, I think it means that when you look at this person, you see, he did such a lot of good things, and suddenly he says, yeah, but look at all this.
Yeah, but if you're going on the scale now,
Baggage.
you're looking like very generally. But
Yeah.
how about but you're going on the scale, so then it should come out tilted to one side. So what does it mean 50-50? What's the shot of 50-50?
That's how he lives his life. He does something bad and says, "No, I got."
Yeah, but after everything's over, you put on the scale. You put on the scale. What's the chance that it's going to be 50-50?
You're talking about hundreds of thousands of
These.
bits, hundreds of thousands, and it's going to be exactly even.
How do you get 50-50?
Doesn't work.
I think this Mashal talks about it, but I don't recall exactly what he says, and I'm sure other people also talk about it. But the kasha is a very legitimate kasha. What does it mean 50-50? What does that mean 50-50? I think offhand, I don't remember, but I think someone talks about that the things that are considered the show gig and things like that, that his Averis are not bad Averis. But I don't know. It doesn't fit into the words. I just think.
You look, there's a Mosef Rashi on the side of my daf that says under Kov Show, HaKadosh Baruch Gemara from Erechin, Ches Amid Beis, Kov Show HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kovesh U Master, Avonos Takas Mechilas Kisei HaKavod Kedei She'akriu HaZechus.
That's a different shot. I said Rashi over here. Over there to say a different shot. That Kovic doesn't mean pressing down the side of the schus, but hiding the Avera. That's another shot that fits better into the Gemara about Kovi Yichbosh Avonos Seinu. According to Rashi here, Yichbosh is the schus that Hashem presses down. But I just said Rashi over here, but you're right, there is another shot over there. And the question still remains, what does it mean 50-50?
The three ways that Hashem is what's the word he uses? Kovic. Hashem,
One is Kovic, one is Nosei Avon, and one is Mavi Rishon Rishon.
Ramchal, let's speak about this.
About the 50-50. I don't think
This is
so.
the basis
I
of
don't
all
call
the
this.
Supreme
What does it mean 50-50?
All
What
the
is that?
Supreme Musa are based on these.
Yeah. Amar Rav, a third line. That this favor that Hashem does, it doesn't count the first Avera. That's only if it's going to help him to become Rov Schuyos. Hashem doesn't count the one Avera or whatever, or 3 Averas, whatever it is. In order that when the scale is finished, it might be that it's going to be tilted towards the schus, even though it would have been 50-50. But if Hashem doesn't throw it away, he holds it on the side until the finishing of the scale, so to speak, till they scale everything up. And then, if at the end he's going to be 50-50, means it didn't help. That taking off the first one didn't help that it should be chesed. Then Hashem puts it onto the scale, back onto the scale again. It only helps him if he's going to be Rov Schuyos, taking away one, then it was Rov Schuyos. But if it's going to be even without that one, he's still not tilted to the good side. So then Hashem puts it back on, and he's going to get like a Russia. Then he's going to be Rov Avonos. The Gemara continues, third wide line. Now this seems to be a side point. Since we dash in the pasuk of Nosi Avon over Pesha, so we're dashing more things about it. Till now it said that Hashem is Nosi Avon. Now we're saying, if a person, he doesn't stand on what's coming to him, that he's, even if people do wrong to him, he still waves their Avera. So too, Hashem is going to not be back on his Averas, and Hashem is going to be Mochel also. The Gemara changes it around, makes it a little bit easier on the drash. A person who's no seyavon that he so then Hashem is going to forgive him his affairs if he is not exacting with other people. He's not so exacting. Hashem is not going to be so exacting with him because he deserves it. He deserves not to be exacting with because he's not exacting with other people. There's a story here. Afuna Beit Yeshua Cholash. Afuna Beit Yeshua was sick, deathly sick. All the Papa Lishulei Bey, the Papa went to the Mepaki Chola to ask how he's doing. Chazi the Cholash Le'am, they saw that he was very weak. It looked like he was dying. So Papa said, get ready to him the shrouds because he's dying. He's dying. Self ispach, and then he got better. Afuna Beit Yeshua first was dying, and then he got better. He was a ghost, it seems, and then he got better. And the mixer for Papa Papa was embarrassed because he had said that he died. He asked him, what did you see? And it was true, I really died. But Hashem said to the Bezdin, Shalmai, Shalmala, oil, all line up. All below mukim b'mila lo sekumu ba'dei. Since he's not exacting with people, so don't be exacting with him either. And that's how he got a kapara and he was able to live again. Shenema no seven v'over pesha l'mis no seven v'over pesha.
Rav Michal says it was he said to the Malach HaMavis, not the Beis Din Shel Malach.
What?
Okay, it does say Gamalahu. It says the same. That is this word lahu is plural. He said to them. So you have to explain what them means. The bottom line, it says in the pasuk, no pesha l'sheres nachloso. So l'sheres nachloso means to the remnant of his people. But the Gemara says that's continuation. No pesha l'sheres nachloso. It's like a big fat piece of meat that has a thorn inside. It means it's a good thing over here. Hashem is no sover, no pesha, but then it ends up l'sheres nachloso. That means only some merit this attribute that Hashem is no sover and over pesha. L'sheres nachloso, but all nachloso. Not all Am Yisrael is over to this midah of no sover and over pesha. Only l'sheres nachloso. Who's that? And the Gemara says on the Amud Beis, only somebody makes himself like leftovers. That is the midah of humility, that he makes himself like leftovers. He's the person who's over to this midah of no self and over pesha. Top line. Top line. Huna has the contradiction, and there's going to be a few Gemaras in the same vein. Tzadik Hashem b'chol dirocha, v'chassid b'chol ma'asav. Ksiv, Tzadik Hashem b'chol dirocha, v'chassid b'chol ma'asav. So is Hashem in the midah of a tzaddik or of a chassid? A tzaddik means what's deserving. Everything is deserving, and a chassid means somebody who's l'fnei meshur adin. So b'tchila tzaddik or b'sof chassid. First Hashem starts with midas adin, but then he sees it doesn't work, so then he does chasidus. So Hashem is going to be l'fnei meshur adin. Not only what's deserving, Hashem does the chesed. And the Gemara is going to bring a few psukim with the same idea of always answering the same answer. That first Hashem starts with midas adin, but if they can't tolerate that, so then Hashem does chesed. Rabbi Elazar Rami has to ask the contradiction. And the pasuk continues, you Hashem do kindness because you pay to a man as he deserves. So that's contradiction. If it's chesed, it's not what he deserves. He deserves, it's not chesed. But the answer is, first Hashem starts with the midah of what's deserving. But then when he can't tolerate it, so then Hashem does chesed also, even if he doesn't deserve it. Another person is saying Ilpi, Amrila Ilpa, Rami. Either the person's name was Ilpi or Ilpa, he has a contradiction. Ksiv Rav Chesed. Ksiv Be'emes is Rav Chesed Be'emes. Chesed means Chesed, Emes means what's deserving. So again, the same contradiction. The answer is the same answer. The Chilo Emes, or the Sof Rav Chesed. First, Hashem tries with Emes, what's deserving. But then if not, so then Hashem does Chesed. That's the end of that. The more about three Gemaras with the same idea. Tzaddik and Chesed, and then Shamish Kamaseyu. And Chesed, and then the third one was about Rav Chesed, Be'emes, all the same answer, the Tchila, the Midas Adin, and then Chesed. Now the Gemara starts with the sugya of Yud Gimel Midas. There's no servant over Pesha, and Rav Chesed, all these things are part of Yud Gimel Midas. No servant, that's Pasuk and Micha. But Rav Chesed, Be'emes, he's talking about Yud Gimel Midas. The Gemara now starts about the sugya of Yud Gimel Midas. That's the Pasuk where it says Hashem told Moshe, Hashem called Rachel Mechanan. So Hashem pierced over the face of Moshe, and Hashem called out. If it wouldn't be written, it would be impossible to say it. As if to say that Hashem wrapped himself in the towels like a shliach tzibur, and he showed Moshe how to daven. That he said, this is the way he's supposed to daven. He's supposed to daven, Hashem, Kavachim V'chanan, Amalo, Kosmashi, Yisrael, Chotan, Yasud, Lefanai, Keseder, Hazeh, V'ani, Mochel, whenever Am Yisrael sins, do this Seder of Tefillah, being maskir, mentioning the midas of Hashem, and Hashem will be Mochel. It says in the pasuk, Hashem, two times in the word of Hashem, Hashem, two times it says Hashem. Ani ukodem sheich adam, ani ulacha sheich adam. Yasit tshuva. I'm the same Hashem. Either serachamim before a man sins, and after he sins and he does tshuva, also I'm mirachim. The next thing, kel racham v'chanan. The Gemara is not going to dash in kel racham v'chanan. It just seems to be the introduction to the Yud Gimel Midas. Kel racham v'chanan. It starts here. The subject Yud Gimel Midas. It's a bris. All these psukim is Yud Gimel Midos, and there's a bris on it. There's a covenant, and that means that Hashem made a bris means that it's something that's irrevocable. Hashem doesn't. Whenever people are going to daven with the Yud Gimel Midos, Hashem is going to answer them. That Hashem says, "I'm going to make a bris." This was the bris. The bris was Yud Gimel Midos. I just wanted to point out that it sounds in the Gemara that in the numbering of Yud Gimel Midos, how do you number them? It's not so simple in the pasuk. How do you get 13? So I once had a chart that I had 13 pshatim and how to get 13. I had a table to show many Rishonim and Achronim to talk about how do you divide it. I just wanted to prove from this Gemara that Hashem is not part of it. Some Rishonim hold that Hashem is part of the 13. But here the Gemara, look at the Gemara. The Gemara says Adrash and Hashem. And then it says Kel Racham B'chanan. It starts talking about Yud Gimel Midos. It doesn't dash over here Kel Racham B'chanan. It just says Kel Racham B'chanan Yud Gimel Midos and Chosas Reikam. So it sounds like Kel Racham B'chanan is the beginning of Yud Gimel Midos. Hashem is something else. But in the count of the 13, it starts with Kel Racham B'chanan. I think that's how it goes in. I think the Gra and the Arizal, I think that they start from Kel Racham B'chanan.
So Kel Racham B'chanan is 3.
Kel Racham B'chanan, right.
Why do the Ashkenazi world some of them not safe and when they also shop?
That doesn't say to say it every day. That doesn't say. It says when Am Yisrael is Chote L'Panai.
That it's a big mile.
I don't know the source. I mean, where the minute came from. They say it every day.
No, that's it. No, it says it's a big matter to say.
That's the Gemara. The Gemara says it.
It's Friday and
They probably took it on. They probably took it on from the Chassidim. Probably took it on from the Sechsfar. So where does it come from? The minute of saying it every day, and
Maybe it's there. It says to say it. Sure used to say.
okay, I don't know. First white line. The Gemara goes now to Tshuva.
Ashkenaz never said.
Only
Ashkenaz doesn't say.
Right. Only
Sleepers
time
time,
to sleep.
yeah.
No sleepless time. Amar Rav Yochanan. Gedol Tshuva Shemakaras Adin Shaladam. Greatest Tshuva that it can tear up of Zadin, even after it was decreed, and it was so like we call the Chasima. Afterwards, we read the Gzadin. Before the Gemara calls Danin and Gzadin. Gzadin seems to be what we call Chasima. So even if it was already a sealed decree, also Tshuva could cause it to be torn up. Shenamar Hashmein Levam Azeh Vaznav Achbeid Vaznei Basha. That this people's heart is fattened, and the heart is fattened, like it has fat over it, doesn't understand, and their ears are heavy, and their eyes are covered over, because if they're going to see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and their heart is going to understand, and they're going to do tshuva, he would have gotten healed. That's what the Gemara is going to dash that if he does tshuva, he's going to be healed, and the Gzadin will be torn up.
That's all the pasuk.
That's all the pasuk. Yeah,
What
familiar,
pasuk is
yeah.
it with Yeshaya? Is that it?
Right. Yeshaya Perek 6. And as if to say that these people are making sure that they don't do tshuva because so they cover up their heart and their ears and their eyes. If they would do tshuva, then they would get healed. Papa, don't know if how do you see this pasuk that it's talking about after the decree? Maybe it's before the decree. That's why the tshuva helps. Maybe after the decree, it doesn't say that it helps to do tshuva. It says he's going to be healed. You don't say an healthy person is going to get healed. You say he won't get sick. The fact that it says healed, it means that he was sick and he gets healed. He said that was very decreed he should have a bad issues that happened to him, and he's going to get healed.
It's exactly the answer to yesterday's question. Rosh Hashanah is already in Nigzar. Why do we bother? Well, let's wait for the next Rosh Hashanah. Here's the answer.
No problem. What's the question?
Yesterday we were asking why we know if the decree is already made by Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. So
No,
there's
it wasn't. It wasn't sealed. No.
Sealed by Yom Kippur.
That's what we're talking about.
So the following Rosh Hashanah.
We're talking about the sealing of the Gzadin. The Gzadin.
No, but here I can apply this all year long. I don't.
The Gemara doesn't ask the kasha. The Gemara asks the kasha right away. That it doesn't
okay.
have. Good. Hold on. I'm saying the Gemara doesn't ask the kasha.
What did we ask yesterday? It was our Shaila yesterday.
The question-
Rosh Hashanah is sealed. I mean, Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur is sealed. So what's
Right,
the
so
Gemara asks the
why
kasha? Why daven the rest of the year? The Gemara only comes to Rabbi
Right,
Yosef.
that was the question.
Or it says that Yafatzak Aladim, there's something helps. It helps something. But the Gzadin is not torn up. Yesterday the Gemara didn't say that it gets torn up. It just says that it helps something. Yafatzak Afilu Achim Gzadin. It can help something. But here the Gemara says that you have the Gzadin.
Right.
So that's going to be the Gemara's kasha now. That here you said that you have the Gzadin. Now it's going to say after Yom Kippur. It's too late. Meisvei kasha from the Gaisa. Hashav bein time. The person does tshuva between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. During a Shesmei tshuva, Mochel then he gets a kapara. But lo Hashav bein time. If he didn't do tshuva till Yom Kippur, then it's too late. Even if it's going to be all of the rams of the voice. The voice is the name of a place that's in the Arab countries. So it's a name of a place, and they had the chashuv rams. Even if he's going to bring so many kabbalas, it's not going to be to do tshuva after Yom Kippur. It's too late. So that's the kasha. Here it says after the Gazar Din of Yom Kippur, that's not Shuva. And you're saying that Shuva helps even after the Gazar Din. No kasha. The difference between the Yachad and the Tzibur. Tzibur that I said before, the Shav Rafal is talking about the Tzibur. The Tzibur does Shuva. Then it helps even the whole year. But a Yachad does Shuva, and then it only helps to Yom Kippur. There's Gazar Din, and then it won't help to do Shuva after Yom Kippur to be Mevatel. Of course, Shuva is always a good thing, but to nullify the decree, then it doesn't help after Yom Kippur. I just want to point out that Yachad and Tzibur doesn't mean that if Tzibur gets together and each one does Shuva on his own private Averis. Tzibur means there's Averis of a Tzibur. The Tzibur as a community what they did wrong. So they could do Tshuva as a Tzibur, but each person as a Yachid, then it only helps with Yom Kippur.
That's the real way we pass that. The Yochid can't change it.
You can't change the decree. So it said, before the Gemara said that even after Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Yafas HaKol that it helps. But the tear of the decree, it sounds like after Yom Kippur. That's the decree. The Gemara is going to say something more about Yom Kippur, about after the year. But so far, it sounds like that's the decree for the year. Of course, you should do tshuva. Doesn't hurt to do tshuva on the Avera. But as far as changing the decree, it sounds like it doesn't help. The Gemara continues. Next to another kasha. You're saying again that tshuva helps for the tzibur, even the whole year, even after the Gzar Din. Next, pasuk kasha from the following brisa. It says, Hashem's eyes are constantly in Meresh Hashanah, Rachos Hashanah, but Hashem is constantly looking at Eretz Yisrael, whatever it needs. Itim l'tova, itim l'ra. Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. And the Gemara is going to explain that it's talking about the whole year round, like it says, Meresh Hashanah, Rachos Hashanah, the Pashup Pshat. Hashem is constantly. What do you mean constantly? After the Gzar Din of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, it's over for the rest of the year. What does it mean that Hashem is constantly looking at Eretz Yisrael? Itim l'tova ketzad. Meresh Yisrael Rishon, Gemur, Rosh Hashanah. If on Rosh Hashanah, Am Yisrael was bad, completely bad, and then therefore the decree for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, was for a little rain. They didn't deserve rain, only little rain. So then they did tshuva during the year. What's going to be? L'sof chazru b'hem. Afterwards they did tshuva. So what's going to be? They deserve now rain, but the Gzar Din was already no rain. It's not possible to add on rain. Thank you. It's impossible to add on rain because it's already after the Gzar Din. That's going to be the most kasha. How come you can't change the Gzar Din? It's talking about the Tzibur over here. They should have rain. Rain is not an individual right there. Rain is for the whole Tzibur. So here it says that they can't change the Gzera in Shemayim. Shekvar nigzvur Gzera. Ela Kodesh Baruch Hu Mavid them. There's manan Allah Sasricha Lahen Hakol Lefi Oretz. That Hashem, with the rain that was decreed for them, Hashem gives it the best time, the best place, and the good time that it should rain at the proper time. And on the land that is best for it. Ethan Lara, sometimes Hashem is going to look at the situation during the year that it should become worse. On Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, they were completely righteous. And the decree was they should have a lot of rain, top line on the screen. The Sof, and then they did bad. They changed their ways in their bad. So it can't be changed for less rain because it was decreed on Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, that they should have a lot of rain. And look at this Baruch Hu Marid them. So what was manan Allah that Hashem is going to bring the rain in the wrong time and the land that they don't need, like Rashi says in the Midbar, doesn't help them the rain. So there's adjustments for the decree of Rosh Hashanah, but the most is only adjustments, but it doesn't change the whole decree. And the Maskash is, you said that they could change the decree. If they deserve to be better, so why does Hashem, so they're not tear up the Gzar Din and add on rain? The Rashi says you can't add on rain. But you're saying that Tzibur could do tshuva the whole year. That's the kasha. Then here is Shana Yasam Rav Shavachi. Over there, since there's a possibility to adjust it, and you can give the little rain and make it worth a lot, so Hashem does it that way. But if it's necessary, then Hashem will change the Gzar Din also. So the Gemara is still holding that the Tzibur could change the Gzar Din even after it was Nigzar, even after the decree. Tashma, Akasha from a brisa that's going to say again that Akasha that is going to say that they cannot change the Gzar Din. It says the whole parak, and I think this is Tehillim Kuvav. This is Hodul Hashem Kuv Zayin. It says Yodei Yom Ba'aniyos. Some people say this in Erev Shabbos. This is the Mizmor about the Abba Shrichim Lahodos. Before people have to thank Hashem. And it talks about Yodei Yom Ba'aniyos. Those are going in the ships. Also Malacha B'Mayim Rabim. They're doing a lot of work. The ones who are working on the ship, the sailors in Mayim Rabim and big oceans. They saw the wonders of Hashem. It goes on and on. It says the whole parak. Then it became a big Hashem decreed that it should be a big storm and many big waves. They were being tossed around on the boat like a drunkard because the waves were shaking the boat. They called out to Hashem in their troubles. Hashem saved them. Also, and that whole pasuk over there, in that parsha of Hodu, there are simanim. If you look in the Tehillim inside, in the real Tehillim, or some of the printed Tehillim have it, they're like parentheses. Rashi says it's like Rashi. He says it's like a upside down nun over there, a backwards nun. That's like parentheses kind of things. That there's some kind of simanim over there in the Tehillim. Simaniyos. They're like simanim markers. As if achmerak is coming to limit. There's a limitation over there. The fact that it has these simanim is coming to limit. Over there it says that they were in trouble and they cried out to Hashem and they were saved. So, but the fact that it has the simanim, that's coming to say that it doesn't always work. It only works before the Gzar Din, but after the Gzar Din, it doesn't. And the Gemara thought that this is a tzibur. And the Gemara says, no, this is not a tzibur, this is a yachid. Even though they're a whole ship, but it's not considered a tzibur, it's not the whole tzibur. So therefore, that's why they don't help the Gzar Din. They can't change the Gzar Din just with the tefillah. So the Gemara is still holding that a yachid cannot change the Gzar Din, but a tzibur can. Shema, another kasha, Shala Gloria on Gioris. So Rabbi Gamliel. There was a Gioris, her name was Gloria, and she asked Rabbi Gamliel. It says in the
Rabbi, how are you learning that they're considered like a yachid when they're actually on the ship together?
I think that a tzibur is not only two possibilities. Either that's not enough, being a people, even if it's going to be 100 people, it's not considered a tzibur yet. That means a tzibur at large. Or it could be that they all were talking about their individual averis, but it wasn't something that was tziburi averis, wasn't a communal avera. I think that the Pashup Pshat in tzibur and yachid doesn't mean if a lot of people get together and each one does shuvah on his own averis. It means something of the community averis. They're not taking care of the judgment is not good, the tzedakah is not good, the chinuch is not good on a public basis.
I hear what you're saying, but on the other hand, if the Titanic ship is going down, everybody is sharing the same tsar, and they're all davening for the same thing.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said the question is what they're doing a tshuva for. What are they doing tshuva for? Is the tshuva on a communal avera? If on the Titanic there was some kind of communal avera they were doing, and that was the reason why it was gonna sink, and then they did tshuva for that, then it would be saved. But it seems that not, that it wasn't. The Gemara is talking about a case where it wasn't a communal avera that was being done on the ship. It wasn't a ship of averis. It was a ship with a lot of people, and even had their own pekel of averis. And even if they do tshuva, it's not called that the tzibur was doing tshuva. I'm saying that as a possibility. I can't say for sure. So this Gemara asks next kasha. We're still on the subject. Is it possible to nullify the Gzar Din for tzibur after the Gzar Din? He said that yes, and they were trying to attack it. Tashma, Luria, the Gioris, asked Rabbi Gamliel. It says in the Torah. It says it b'saraschem, but they take it out, I guess, because if she's a Gioris, then you don't say in your Torah. She's her Torah also. It says in the Torah, Asher lo yisapanim, uksiv yisa Hashem panav eilecha. That one place it says Hashem does not show favoritism, and then another place it says Hashem does favor you. Hashem should favor you. Yisa Hashem panav eilecha. I just point out in the Pashup Pshat is not a contradiction because it doesn't say Hashem favors people. It says Yisa Hashem panav eilecha. Hashem is no say his panim. To be no say panim means that he raises somebody else's face. That's called favoritism. But more astonishing is if it says that Hashem does favor Am Yisrael. And the kash is that here it says Hashem lo yisa panim. Hashem doesn't show favoritism. Nitbal Rabbi Yossi HaKohen. So Rabbi Yossi HaKohen came to say an answer to her. The word nitbal, I'm not sure what the exact translation would be. He came to answer her. I'll tell you why mashal to explain what it's comparable to. Somebody owes his friend, somebody's a creditor for a mana, whatever it might be, 100 whatever, he's the creditor. A couple of those money, he gave a time before the king that you have to pay by this and this time. And the one who was the borrower, he swore by the life of the king that he's going to pay back on time. But he didn't. He gives my below the time came, he didn't pay back. And he swore by the king's life, the Chaya Melech, big design to the king. He swore by the king's life and he didn't fulfill his word. All the Pharisees and Melech came to appease the king. So the king told him, I pardon you for the shame that you caused to me. But go and appease your friend and pay him up. Even though I'm going to mochel my name, the cover of my name, but you still owe him money. Here it also means if it's a verb in so then Hashem favors, and he's going to go beyond that you don't deserve. But Hashem means if it's a verb in then Hashem doesn't pardon that. That was Rabbi Yossi HaKohen's answer to the contradiction. But Rabbi Akiva came and he said a different answer to the kasha. And we'll jump on to the next page. Top of Yudches. Kan Kodem Gzar Din, Kama achar Gzar Din, that Hashem favors before the Gzar Din, but not after the Gzar Din. Achanami, the Yachid, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Hashem favors before the Gazar Din, not after.
That after the Gzar Din, once there's a Gzar Din, then Hashem is not going to retract it. Once there's a Gzar Din by a Yachid, they were talking about a Yachid over here. We're not talking about the Tzibur. We're talking about a Yachid. And Achanami b'Yachid, they're talking about a Yachid over here. And by Yachid, Hashem does not favor. It means you cannot change something which he doesn't deserve after the Gzar Din. Yisrael Hashem Pana Belecha would sound like Hashem favors, and he does what you don't deserve. And that would be a way of nullifying the decree. And the Gemara says it only happens before the Gzar Din. After the Gzar Din, it's not possible. Is that good?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Taisus points out the Gemara brachas that we had that a similar contradiction, and over there the Gemara says Am Yisrael is different. Hashem does favor Am Yisrael because they are also the B'Shuras Adin. Like it says that Hashem said you only have to bench when you eat Kedei Sviyah, but Am Yisrael benches after Kazais, after Kabetza. So the Gemara could have answered that also to answer the contradiction. But Taisus points out that the Gemara is also true, that even when Hashem favors them for this point of Kazais and Kabetza, that's only before the Gzar Din. But after the Gzar Din, then the Yachid is not going to be favored. So far the Gemara is still holding that Tzibur could nullify the Gzar Din, even after it was decreed, after the sealing of the Tzibur could, but the Yachid cannot. Yashikach, everybody. Thank you. We'll be back in a few minutes.
But what it doesn't mean is that the tzibur has to be on the same character in terms of the sin in order for it to be effective, I would think.
I think when we say tzibur, we mean that the tzibur has a communal avera, and they do tshuva as a community.
They have to talk about what they did wrong. And
They have to do tshuva. They have to change. They have to change their ways. If they don't care. They don't take care of the, like Sodom, a city of Sodom, or Nineveh. They changed their ways. We started acting. The whole tzibur acts in a different way.
Was it bris this morning, Sean?
Yesterday, Baruch Hashem,
Yesterday?
and Mazel Tov to Shol, and the
What's
baby's name is
name?
Elisha Shmuel.
Elisha Shmuel.
Or Shmuel Elisha, I forgot which way.
Elisha Shmuel.
Elisha Shmuel. The Gemara puts Elisha and Shmuel together. The Gemara says, "Rotzel lehenos yenek Shmuel, rotzel shalom lehenos al yena." Also known as yenek Elisha, rotzel shalom lehenos yenek Shmuel. I didn't hear the drushes yesterday by the Suda. It might have been mentioned. I didn't hear. But Shal, from the whole Tzibur, you and your wife should be zochel v'gadol v'tov v'chupol ha'masim tovim.
Amen.
Amen.